In Wales, we waste on average 600,000 tonnes of food every year. It's not only a waste of environmental resources and money, but the way we dispose of leftover food can also damage the environment. Much of what we don't eat finds its way down the sink, and that includes vast quantities of fats, oil and grease. Out of sight, out of mind? Not always. Fats and oils we dispose of in this way cause thousands of sewer blockages every year. More often than not, these blockages have devastating effects. They lead to sewer flooding in our streets, or worse still, cause toilets in homes to overflow. These are all very unpleasant incidents and can also risk public health.
Well, this problem affects us all, but it's especially severe in organisations like schools, colleges, hospitals, anything where large-scale catering is taking place. And indeed, if we do have a blockage, it causes major disruption to those organisations and their neighbours, and even environmental damage. Well, when we have a sewer blockage, the kind of work that is needed to put that right can be quite extensive. It does depend on the size of the blockage, of course, and how long the problem's been going on for. But it can go into major jetting crews on site, and indeed if there's actual damage to the sewer, then we have to do some large scheme which can cause major disruption for some time to the locality. The actual effects of the blockage as well is important to talk about that, and that can mean sewer flooding into those organisations' facilities, which isn't pleasant.
It's a problem that water companies take very seriously, as a build-up of fat, oil and grease is made worse by severe weather incidents which cause overloading of sewers.
If you're at a canteen or a cooking establishment and you're wasting food, then you're likely to be wasting resources and wasting money. With any operation, the best thing to do with waste is to reduce it and not to produce it in the first place. And if you're running a canteen, you might want to look at your processes and look at the ingredients that you're buying and look at what is being disposed of, because that could save you some real money. If you can't avoid it and you are producing food waste, you need to think about the operation that you're sending that to. You have a duty of care as a waste producer to make sure that waste is managed responsibly and with consideration of the environment. And certainly flushing it down the plug hole is not a way of doing that. You create problems for yourself by blocking plug holes and causing plumbing problems, but also to the sewerage system, to water treatment plants. What you should be doing is speaking to your waste contractor, finding a way to segregate the waste, and if possible, send it to a composting facility or an anaerobic digestion facility.
Welsh Water has been targeting areas where there have been particular problems to try and keep customers informed and seek their help.
When we know there's a problem in an area with fats, oil and grease, we target the organisations that could be responsible for that in that area. And we advise them by direct leaflet drops and indeed media on steps that they can take to prevent that. Organisations that have large-scale catering on their premises are the ones that we need to target for this initiative. They have to dispose of many tonnes of food waste every year, and that's a great concern for us. At our educational centres, we're trying to teach young people about the importance of keeping our sewers free from fat, oil and grease. And the way we're doing that is by teaching them to make bird cakes, for example, with kitchen waste and bits of food.
At this moment, we are trying to always, as much as possible, reduce the food wastage. It depends upon the functions we have, the different types of food that is made every day. It also depends upon the weather conditions. Sometimes it becomes that the weather conditions play an important role in our food production and food wastage. So there are a lot of factors involved, but as much as possible we try to take into consideration the number of people for the function, so cook accordingly so that to minimize wastage, use the right techniques to cook the food. Then also we depend on a lot of other factors like the quality of the food, the quality of the raw produce we use, the better the food is done generally. We use a lot of oil in our daily cooking purposes. It ranges from different types of functions and about 150 to 160 liters of oil every week. So it is important for us that we degrade it and dispose it off in the right way. So we give it to generally private companies which are authorized, which are environmentally safe, and which help in reutilization of that oil to produce biodiesel. And we generally see that these companies are the ones that are recommended by governmental agencies. So it's a safe way.
Envirowise is working with Swansea University as a pilot study to tackle the issues of food waste and disposal. The aim is to reduce costs as well as improve environmental performance.
We will be carrying out a detailed assessment of the catering facility at Swansea University and working with them to deliver improvements. We believe the key action areas will be staff training and awareness, maximising recycling and composting, and the installation of low-cost equipment to prevent fats, oils and greases running down into the sewers.
We might definitely have to do a staff training in the future when we look into this upcoming project, and it is to educate the staff in the right way. It is not to produce more compost so you have more wastage. It is to minimize wastage and use the wastage in the right way.
There are measures you can introduce to reduce the amount of fat, oil and grease going down the sink. Welsh Water has publications which deal with this issue. They include things like good kitchen practice, such as not throwing scraps of food down your sink, and the use of fat traps, which is a key initiative here. If people want to know more information, they can go on our website or contact Welsh Water directly to find out about these publications.
For more information and advice on responsible disposal of food waste and the steps you could take to reduce the amount of waste you produce, you can speak to Envirowise.